already blank. We've had 2 of these circles. Zone. And at the moment, Falcons. Can they do something with this? Can they actually make it work? Because they did regroup onto that outpost.
Managed to get all 4 there, which I find very surprising personally. It was a weird anchor point that they had, and then sort of a Hail Mary approach here. This is this Wolves fight between them and Tiamba. Very clean. I think they took 1 knock, I believe, during that. I'm not even sure they even took a single knock, but it's very nicely done. Wolves rotating through a pretty typical area. Fortunately, they're not able to pick up the position they quite like, which is where Falcons are playing right now. You also have Papra Supermassive down towards Gakka, so this is kind of a difficult push now for the Wolves. They could send over towards the north side and try and hold out teams, but you already have loops here in a circle. I'd say this is one of those circles where a lot of prime real estate's already taken. If you want to get into the circle, you have to fight for it at this point. So likely going to see quite a few engagements. Personally, I don't think Team Secret has enough firepower to try and overtake any of these teams a single spot. And so I don't expect Team Secret to be living out too much longer.
It's interesting that they were in this location so early on. One of the closest teams to it after that northern shift, but they're still getting cut out here. Gen G lose 1 on the approach. They're looking to divert and maybe find that south side of the hill. Are they going to crash into further on compound towards OG? I mean, they are just going to draw short on the rocks here, it seems. Leave claws out. Wanting to not put all their eggs in one basket, but 9Z kind of the opposite tune right now. He's going to spray down, and Gen G are going to lose 1. Can they protect him from that high ground? Do they have the angles to do so? Are Alter Ego going to get stuck in as well? Because they sit atop all of this, even though they only have 2 players. A lot of sightline potential from the top of Everest.
There we go. You got the old dominoes on Everest right now. You got D plus knocking into GS, knocking into Alter Ego, knocking into the circle, knocking down onto loops. This is probably the most packed I've seen Everest in a long time, and no one wants to fight for it at all. It's just allowing it to happen. I think everyone's worried that as soon as they take a fight with someone else, there's going to be an immediate response from the other side of Everest. Also crazy, Max was just highlighting this in our chat, where the fact that Alter Ego makes this push over towards Everest is insane.
Gen G finally going down. He was looking for a home, but there was no room at the inn, and Gen G will be eliminated now. Their ascent stopped a little bit, so we'll see how far the teams beneath them can approach on the points tallies, because there are quite a few teams that are definitely within striking distance, not least of which is Go, who are rolling up to inner circle. They go 2 up on the fight immediately on the roll up. They're looking for that close range clutch factor, and they are delivering again. Blank. There is potential for Team Secret to try and third party this, but inner circle have already been pushed aside, and maybe Team Secret's time has run short on this approach third party.
For Go, the late game, they are not closers, but what they are is incredibly good in the 4v4. I think if they can fix their late game rotates and how they plan out the rest of their game, they'd be a pretty phenomenal team. Right now, I think that their closing factor is just not quite there, but being able to win a fight like that versus IC so handedly really speaks volumes about this team.
It's really impressive stuff in that firefight, you're right. Finally, the top of Everest going to start to pop off. D plus and GS going to loggerheads. It looks like GS are taking the majority of the damage. That is a bold peak, and Nolbu rightly puts him down there, but a close-range combat engagement from Esso maybe pushes him back behind the headland, but he's got the backup from his teammates, drops back down and around, needs to heal up, has 2 first aids, starts to pop them off now as 3 players from GS have fallen. Team Secret, they're moving up as well. They might try and just roll over the top of this int, and amongst all the chaos, there's not any full force teams in action to stop them. They'll go up towards Rosemary, but he's already stopped one of them. Esso, the last player for GS in the meantime, who hop back on board with chips, they take him down. So D plus look to try and regain a footing. Meanwhile, on the east side, it's OG have joined the party as well. Rosemary and Snape are hopping around on the top of the mountain. They are looking absolutely mental here on the swivel, trying to jump around and find these shots where they can, but this is getting absolutely crazy on the mountain.
It's incredibly silly. It really is quite. I think the only reason this happens is because GS is the Central Everest team, and GS does not want to fight a single soul. GS is terrified. I think GS was genuinely petrified holding that position. It takes D plus to push them from the eastern edge. So again, it's a weird one. Wolves have to make this play. They have to make this play. It was their only option. Currently, they're winning. They took a knock from Papra Supermassive earlier. Coops will go down. That's from OG off in the distance. Wisco finding a lovely little shot there. Coops can no longer hold this off angle for them.
Oh, Falcons have loops crashed into them as well. They lose another player, so it's just Koa and Redox caught in the middle between the Wolves and loops. But Papra Supermassive are on the outside, on the southwest side of it as well. You can see they're taking shots on the approach. A lot of damage done to everybody on the inside here. Wolves down to one player surviving, just Batten now trying to keep himself alive. These nades to keep people at bay. But Redox is flexing out. So's Koa. They're into the smoke with him. They look to try and take down the Wolves here and now, and they succeed in their pursuit. Loops have the corner of the compound under control, and the Falcons have moved out to that north side. Papra Supermassive still playing dead on that southwest edge, not getting involved.
No reason to right now. I think they saw that fight was incredibly hectic. No reason to get into it. Good nade, an immediate flush there from 9ZG over towards Alter Ego, but they get themselves in 8th place, and a few elimination points. It's very surprising that they lived up there for that long anyway. D Plus looking to dominate on the north side. You can see there not a huge amount of ammo on side. OG have a strong spot down towards the southeast, but now need to move. D Plus gets very favored by the circle on this one, but they will have to deal with Go. And I think the D Plus versus Go, I would 100% put the value in Go here.
We've seen what they can do over them. We've seen what they can do before, but there's already this sort of no man's land between D Plus, and look at the oversight they have towards Go. I think sure on flat ground maybe, but I think D Plus with the terrain advantage there, with a couple of nades on board, that's going to make Goat's life really hard. But I don't think either of them want to fight just yet. Allow these teams to fight beneath them. Papra Supermassive, how do you make that happen? Absolutely crazy that OG have not been able to extract more value than that first knocker towards Kamikaze, and a tanky goes down as well. It is just WizGod trying to make things happen. AKOP as well on that flank, and maybe there is a third party. It's D Plus who are chiming in. So Papra Supermassive are on 2, but WizGod is so low. AKOP 2, and they do get shut down. That's the shot that they were looking for. The reses can come in from Papra Supermassive, and there is no way that they make that push work.
Bro, Kamikaze got 2 knocks on the approach out the window with a PPP zone. That's very surprising. I think if you're OG, I actually don't think you could be too mad at OG for that. That's incredible shots coming through from Kamikaze on the roll up. I think they just got outclassed there in that moment. Kamikaze was really feeling himself in that moment. But they clear out a big angle on the southeast side and can actually play from that now. Oh, okay, nade coming through from Koa, not quite on tie. A lot of rooms inside this building. Loops can keep flitting in and out of.
Doesn't look like there's too many more nades here for Falcons. They've held off against 2 crashes now. You've got to imagine that their supplies are running a little bit low. Loops are very keen to get this one concluded, though. All while D Plus just taking shots down this way. But anything that moves, anything that breathes, finally a nade is connected. It's going to be the pickup. Rafinha splits the difference on the nade, and Koa, yeah, he's going to get cut down there. And Loops pick up the points. Falcons down again in a position that they could have had a big game from yet again, but it's just not going to happen for them. 9Z lose 1 to Nolbu. And on that top side of the mountain, Goat and D Plus saving the fight between each other for the last. They will survive, most likely to be the top 3 here. The circle probably will shift away, but they'll try and extract as much value as they can. Maybe take a player from Papra Supermassive if they're lucky.
The D Plus right now is, I understand they're trying to take shots over towards the players underneath them, but if you're looking at ammo count for chips at the moment, it's 70 bullets left remaining. Their real focus needs to be over towards Go. They need to clear Go out. take whatever loot that they had on board and then deal with what's on the south. Go basically ask resupply. But that is the target you need to deal with first. You can't make the crossing down towards the south side with Goat still being alive. And this fight needed to conclude a lot earlier. I mean, Loops isn't going to take shots at you. Papra Supermassive isn't going to take shots at you. But you have to do this now. And the fact that Go can just now roll away leaves D+ kind of high and dry.
Loops. Oh, they've only had 2 players, but they're giving it a good go against Goat. The approach, though, very, very difficult. This southwest shift gives a lot of ground, and maybe Papra Supermassive are going to find another favorable fight on the back of it as well. Loops holding a little bit, doing the damage, though. The majority coming now through from Papra Supermassive. Kamikaze, the front man. He is an absolute star on the roster right now. Killer Joe looking to try and heal himself up to Go. In the meantime, D+ are descending. A 9Z cannot withstand them at all. A very clean roll-up. Very, very nice stuff. But they need to transition to the rest of this fight.
Yeah, not a lot of expenditure there for D+ over towards 9Z, which is really good news. And they're going to get a quick reset on the util, on the ammo. You do have Chips still waiting behind, who has been kind of a dominant force when it comes to the long-range shots from D+. I'd be very happy to see a D+ win here. That sticky bomb could be ginormous from Kamikaze.
Oh, but he's hopping around. It's Tron B actually to connect the spray down, and he does find the flush with it. That sticky bomb works out. Knows there's a player now in the smoke. They know he's on the corner. D+, the question is, what can they do with this presence as that final knock comes through? Kamikaze is the one to put that final nail in, and it's a 4v4. Papra Supermassive, who've been swinging around on the outside, doing so much. They're up to 8 elims. D+ on 9, though. They have been on that long-range engagement. Papra Supermassive much more interested in getting up close and personal.
I think if D+ are able to find the shots and the nade over towards Lost, very different story. Osel has to stay alive there. If you get rid of the off angle, it's game over for D+, but they need that. Osel just needs to stay quiet now. They know his position. Basically, he needs to assist when it's like the full-on 3v4 engagement. Up until then, basically, he's just an information provider for the team. This is cool. Full 4v4. Both teams are pretty warm as well. Have taken fights in the midst of all of this. I think Osal's going to look to back off. Knows his position is revealed. Good shots from Nico again, though. Consistently getting damage in.
I mean, he couldn't really cover off the fight down the low ground if it were to pop off for Osal. I mean, especially with Kamikaze's angle that I'm imagining they should be aware of. It wouldn't be super easy for Osal to actually take shots down towards a fight if Papra Supermassive wanted to flank that low ground, lost that forward point that has really drawn Osal back down. And it looks like Papra Supermassive are gearing up for something. They're into formation now, but lost under a lot of pressure. Nolboot should spot him. No, okay, the headland's just there in time.
I mean, that's frustrating. I mean, if he gets the nade over the top and gets the airburst on him, that actually makes their life so much easier. I think Lost is playing overly aggressive right now. That position he was playing there, if he gets taken down, it makes life so much easier for D+, especially with the circle shifting over towards the eastern side. Now, it is going to center up on the hillside. So this is a really quite interesting Zone 9, where it's pretty playable for both squads up until some of those final moments.
Yeah, it's when that blue zone starts to close, players are going to have to move. The question is, who has to move first and where are they going to go? I think for Papra Supermassive, they might actually have the better spot. With where Lost is playing right now, they are closer to the center, which is going to force D+ to move. But if they're forced to move into where Lost is, they might not have the sightlines to control players like Osal in their position. And Fabian, with a vehicle, could actually put a massive dent into this circle position, and he's going to go forwards.
He's just scouting right now, trying to get information from inside the vehicle using the third-person perspective. But it is an interesting zone. Like I said, there's a lot of hard cover in this Zone 9. It's going to be a hectic ending, but a very, very fun one to watch. First time in a while where it's not just full pitch warfare on the sidelines. This time you actually have angles, and you've got to use that utility to your advantage. Chip sets himself up, and Papra Supermassive going to set themselves up in a lineup down towards the south side, beneath the hillside. Good nade, get some damage done, and more than anything, that's information gathered.
Yeah, they know he's behind that tree now. steps up with that info, with the smokes covering him off, and now that's first blood draw. Papa Supermassive at a disadvantage, but D+ up the center. A second knock is found. Will they be able to transition to Kamikaze? Nearly able to take him down, but just about staying alive. He dashes forwards, and he will go down next. Only the one player stands. It's all up to Nico, sorry, but he will not be able to do it. And it is D+ to keep things under control. The scouting goes well, and they flex out wide. Papa Supermassive had some standout plays there in that match, but it was not to be that they could go all the way. That is D+ Kia.
I think for Papa Supermassive, they get completely ruined by Lost's position. He's just kind of so over aggressive there on the front line. And I think they probably should have put the lineup across the north as opposed down towards the south side, because they're playing down the hill there. It's a little bit confusing. There was still some hard cover to work with. Overall, though, this is the best we've seen D+ in a while. It's a really good game from them. I would love to see a little more relation, honestly, from the squad, but it's not quite there. A little smile. Then again, you know, during PMGC 2024, the interview with Nolbu after they just won the game, the guy